Like Great Britain's invasion of Ireland, they are showing No Mercy. Did you like that?
No comment.
Okay, well, we're here for No Mercy 1999, not the UK version because that one sucked. No, the No Mercy that took place in October of 1999. We've got a great main event between Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we've also got the first ever tag team ladder match. Are you excited for this, Piggy?
I am. Has there not been a tag team ladder match before this in either company?
No, this was... I don't know if in either company, but I know for WWF at least, it was the very first tag team ladder match ever.
It was a great ladder match.
Oh, yeah. In fact, there was a lot of good stuff on this show. Some not so good, but we will get to it. But there are a lot of things to talk about with this show. First of all, I just want to say that, you know, we are continuing the Christian Cage arc. So last week we looked at Judgment Day, 1998. That was Christian's debut. And of course, the reason we're doing this show is because it's the first ever tag team ladder match. It was a match that put the Hardy Boyz and Edge and Christian on the map, really, for the WWF and their careers, really. And, you know, if we're not going to be doing the TLC pay-per-views, then I think this is a good workaround to do this, you know, first ever one, because, you know, I could watch ladder matches all day, and we will do a video, I'm sure, about all the TLC matches, but the one here on this night set the bar, and it was very exciting. But yeah, before we get into any of the pay-per-view, let's talk about nostalgia. So, you know, we talk about figures, we talk about video game, we talk about what's happening at the time, and I guess we could start with the figures, because you showed me was it the Ringside site or the WWF figure site? What was it?
It was on the Ringside site. There was they had a list of action figures, and I will read out the list if that's all right with you. It's
a great list. There are a couple on there that I think I might have had as well when I was a kid. So yeah, I mean, just looking at this layout as well, it doesn't look too bad for a 99 site, does it?
It does not.
So yeah,
of
read
course,
out.
We're in October. Yeah. Come January, all the computers will crash and there'll be no more.
Sadly, yeah. So the list goes as follows. What's standing out to you on this page?
Al Snow's signed action figure standing out. Jack Superstar Series 7 with X-Pac, Val Venis, Edge and more. You get a casket match, Commentator Central and a back alley playset with the grapple gear stuff. You get a Shawn versus Austin grudge match, 2-pack. It's apparently very rare, which I actually don't know if it is. A Jack's loose grab bag. You want them, we've got them. That's a direct quote. That's what they have. You want them, we got them.
I don't want them particularly, but I can see why some people might. Yeah, continue.
We've got the WWF Attitude Ring, includes steel cage, catapult, and more. Right, and it might be a bit dark, but underneath this they have Jack Superstar Series 6. So directly under the catapult, they have Owen Hart's name.
Ooh,
so
not good. And
this is 1999, and maybe you should have put him first instead of directly under catapult.
Especially so soon. Come on.
Well, he's like Owen bit is part of catapult. The and more is part of Hart, but he's directly underneath catapult. Which
I think the more offensive part is that on a toy website they've got a big banner that says "Click here if you want head." You wouldn't be getting away with that these days.
Well, you might, because they do blood figures, so...
True. Yeah, I suppose.
But anyways, Jack's Superstar Series 6 includes Triple H, Mark Merrow, Owen Hart, and more. Oh, and you get Jack's Ringside Collection, Series 2. You get Jim Ross, Jim Cornette, and Sergeant Slaughter.
It's so weird that they're still selling Owen Hart figures at this time.
I think it's 2000 when she goes to court with Owen, for Owen.
I see.
I think...
Yeah, but you're still you're profiting off him, like, still in the immediate aftermath. Seems even worse than if they were to release stuff today, you know.
I think, because I know people are going to go, well, bop up Benoit. I think there's a massive difference. I think with Owen, they were allowed to release the figures that were in production. Whereas with Benoit, they obviously had to go, quick, Jacks, throw them out the window, bury them. Where Owen, they were like, yeah, you know, Mrs. Hart, we kind of are too late in production. We really need to release these. And she's like, I don't want you to, but you do have to, don't you? And then they were like, yeah, we do, sorry. And then they put out a blue blazer figure and you're like, oh no.
It's a bit weird, anyway. To be on a morbidly curious note, I would be interested to see what Benoit merch they'd have it lined up for like '08, you know, because I know they do it like way in advance. It'd be interesting to see some unreleased figures and like, you know, video game stuff. I think that'd be interesting. But that's like, you know.
Someone has got a copy of SVR 08, the prototype before the Benoit stuff, and he's just wearing the same gear as last in SVR 07.
No, I see. So, it's more they just kind of place it over, don't they, until they've kind of developed the model, I suppose. Yeah. So that's a really cool. You know, looking at that site is really sick. So we've got that, and we've also got. You got any news on the video games around this time? Funny enough, No Mercy did not come out at this time, contrary to popular belief.
Is it a SmackDown game?
I think it might be the very first SmackDown, yeah.
No, SmackDown released in North America in 2000, so it's not even SmackDown.
Oh, wow. So we're even before that, so it'll probably be, probably like closer to like Warzone or something like that.
It might be Warzone.
Or even Attitude, maybe?
Attitude, it might be Attitude. I generally don't know, I'm just going off your guesses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just guessing around this time. I think No Mercy was 2000. I could be wrong. But...
or WrestleMania 2000 came out in 1999, so I can cover that one.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one to do. I know people have quite a fondness for WrestleMania 2000, don't they?
WrestleMania 2000 is a professional video game released in 1999 for the N64 console. It was based on the World Wrestling Federation's annual pay-per-view WrestleMania. Despite the fact this game is based upon WrestleMania 2000, the game was released 5 months prior and 4 months prior on the Game Boy Color to the actual pay-per-view itself, therefore resulting in the game using the stage design from 1999's event WrestleMania XV. Instead, released at the height of WWF's Attitude Era, WrestleMania 2000 was the first WWF game released by THQ. The wrestling company ended its long relationship with Acclaim after witnessing the video success competitor World Championship Wrestling. On behalf of THQ, WrestleMania 2000 shares its only game engine, the Japanese-only release of Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, Oro Kushiro. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I butchered that. And released in Europe in October 12th, 1999. North America on November 15th, 1999. Japan on September 15th, 2000. Jesus, Japan got away late, didn't they?
Yeah. Not they're very much focused on the American market here at this time, I think.
And then for people who wonder about the Game Boy Color, it released on November 1st, 1999. Wait, oh yeah, never mind. And November 15th, 1999. So.
Oh, so you probably haven't played that game, have you?
No, I haven't. Have you?
No, I have not. Wasn't into the kind of niche ones from the N64 and so forth. More of a PlayStation person myself, but that's quite interesting. And I will close out this segment by asking you for the Raw and SmackDown results from before No Mercy. We were talking about whether we wanted to do the WCW results, but to be honest, it's a time that can be explained in its own video, what with Vince Russo just coming on board WCW, and we'll talk about it later with Jeff Jarrett, but give us some of the Raw and SmackDown results.
Well, we were talking about this off camera, but just like the fact that Jim Hellwig's real name is the Ultimate Warrior, Billy Gunn's birth name is not Billy Gunn, it's Mr. Ass. All I can think about is that Simpsons guy, Mr. Ass.
Mr. Ass?
Oh, no, sorry, not Mr. Ass. It's have you ever seen the Simpsons episode where they're like Krusty the Clown's camp and they're like, Mr. Black?
That's Mr. Black.
Yeah,
Mr. Ass. I was like, I've not seen that episode of The Simpsons, Mr. Ass, but yeah, continue. He's very... he's on this night, but in New Age Outlaws as well, he's Billy Gunn, formerly, but on his own, he's Mr. Ass. It's confusing, but yeah.
So Mr. Ass with the Road Dogg defeated Crash Holly with Hardcore Holly. Mae Young defeated Ivory by DQ in 1 second. In 1 second.
Damn, that has to be a record.
Right, and for people who are confused, the Road Dogg match, or the Mr. Ass match, went on for 49 seconds. So,
Oh, wow. Not too much longer then.
Christian and Edge versus the New Brood, Jeff and Matt Hardy, ended in a double DQ in a Terry Runnels Invitational Tornado Tag match, #4. And ironically, that ended in 4 minutes and 43 seconds. So if it was 1 second over, it would have been hilarious. X-Pac defeated Faarooq with Bradshaw. The Headbangers Mosh and Thrasher defeated Chris Jericho and Curtis Hughes. The Godfather with Hose defeated Mark Henry in a Hole Jack match. No, seriously, that's what it's written down as, a Hole Jack match. The Big Show defeated the Big Boss Man by DQ. China and Triple H versus Jim Ross and Steve Austin ended in a no contest in 8 minutes. The British Bulldog and Val Venis versus the Rock and Sock Connection, Mankind and The Rock, ended in a no contest. And your commentators were Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross, Lillian Garcia, and this is the episode where The Rock slams British Bulldog on poo.
The dog poop.
Yeah, even though it's probably chocolate spread or something. I highly doubt it was real dog poo.
I mean, the way they were treating Bulldog at the time, maybe it was. Who knows?
Was he punished for leaving for the Montreal Screwjob, I wonder?
I don't know if he was punished, but it would just seemed like maybe he wasn't getting the reactions that they thought he would. So, because he was in the Unforgiven main event, and then he's against The Rock here, but he's kind of taken a downturn, and then after this, it's over for him. Like, he's the European champion, but not really doing anything after this.
I really like The Rock, or not The Rock, British Bulldog in jeans.
I like him in jeans as well. They released a figure of that.
Yeah, basic.
Yeah. I see it everywhere in B&M. Well, clearly people aren't picking it up, but I've been tempted on many occasions. But I dig the roided up jean look. If other people don't, you know.
Apparently he's coming in the Survivor Series line.
Okay, what, in the jeans?
Yeah, he's going to be the Build-A-Figure.
Oh, interesting. Wouldn't be opposed to that. So, that was Raw. Do you want to do SmackDown as well?
Yeah, alright. The Acolytes Bradshaw and Faarooq defeated Kane in a handicap match. Chris Jericho defeated Curtis Hughes. The Big Boss Man defeated Al Snow, champion. And the Big Show in a triple threat match to win the WWF Hardcore Championship. Val Venis defeated Stevie Richards. The Hardy Boyz, even though they're supposed to be the Brood, I don't know why there are Hardy Boyz here. Gangrel defeated Edge and Christian in a Terry Runnels Invitational Tag Team match. #4. Which I don't know.
Maybe they did it. Maybe they did a rematch from the one on Raw.
Yeah, maybe I'm just confused. The Godfather defeated Midian, not naked Midian, just Midian, and the Rock and Sock Connection, Mankind and The Rock defeated New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, champions to win WWF Tag Team Champions of the World. Don't worry.
Sorry, you're on your own there. Not a bad show. I imagine it was Lawler and Cole on commentary, was it? Yeah. So that's what happened on SmackDown. Some interesting things, especially the Rock and Sock winning the tag titles just 1 day before there was supposed to be a tag title match on the show, but we'll get to it. So we're at No Mercy tonight. It's from Cleveland, Ohio. We've got an interesting video package recapping Triple H and Stone Cold's epic rivalry. This was Stone Cold Steve Austin's final match on pay-per-view before he went away for surgery, and it was his last match on pay-per-view in over a year, because he would be back 1 year later to take on Rikishi at the No Mercy the following year. So that's something of note. And here tonight, got some interesting stuff going. Yeah.
I can already tell the shows are better when Russo is gone. Like, I understand that I don't really like 1999, but to the tail end, it's starting to improve. And I'm like, finally, Russo is gone.
Oh, absolutely.
The stank is gone.
I think that the shock value stuff in 98 was good. I know you disagree with me on that. But I would agree with you that 99, kind of the middle of 99, kind of, I don't want to say jump the shark in terms of like wackiness and stuff like that, but it definitely wasn't on the same level that it had been the year before. And I think that Yeah, in this kind of... It felt like a rebuilding period, this show, didn't it? It felt like the start of something new.
Yeah, I loved the Triple H getting bit by a snake. I love that segment so much. Where it's like, the snake bit me, Austin. God damn you, Austin. And then he just absolutely batters him.
Call an ambulance, but not from me. And he rips off his latex on his face. Yeah, very good segment that we saw on SmackDown before, I believe.
It doesn't age well with China there, because obviously Triple H and China had a rough falling out after 1999, I believe, maybe in the early 2000s. So it kind of doesn't age well with that aspect, knowing what happens with Triple H and China, because that's a very weird pairing. But it is absolute. I recommend that segment where he's like, the snake bit me, Austin. God damn you, Austin. And then he walks in and goes, here's your WWF Championship, Austin. And he just smacks him in the face.
Smacks him down, yeah. I mean, it's funny to see Austin. It feels so unhinged as well. Like, more unhinged than we've ever seen Austin. Because Triple H is in a room, then suddenly there's a rattlesnake. Stone Cold locks him in and goes, have fun in there, you bastard, and walks off. And Triple H is just screaming for his life. And it's a fun build-up, I will say. It was also the one where... in the build-up we had I don't know if it was the build-up to this or I think it was Unforgiven, where there was the Buried Alive match, the tag Buried Alive match, and Triple H...
on SmackDown.
Yeah, on SmackDown like a couple of weeks before, and the ambulance pulls in, Triple H is celebrating, and Stone Cold just steps out of the ambulance and batters Triple H and throws him in the grave. It's great. And if you can also hunt down maybe the Unforgiven 6-pack challenge hype video, System of a Down, oh, it's beautiful. One of the best hype packagings that they've ever done. But that's enough about Unforgiven. We're at No Mercy. So we've got JR and Jim Ross. Jim Ross and JR. You know what I mean.
Can I just quickly say about the Buried Alive match?
Yeah.
The bump Mankind takes into the grave is... I know it's not supposed to be funny, but it is absolutely... Like, you know when you throw a pebble into the ocean and sometimes it skins?
Yeah.
For people who haven't seen the Buried Alive match, I forget who throws him, but someone absolutely launches Mankind. Like he's supposed to run, basically.
Yeah.
They basically lob him, and he just bounces into the grave. And it is, you can tell he's in pain, but it's also funny just the way he bounces in.
Yeah, Big Show throws him, and I think Mick Foley said in the past that he was supposed to just fall into the grave itself, but he misjudged it, hit the side and just rolled in, and it looks nasty. And this is also around the time where Mankind is wanting to retire because he's just so beaten up and bruised and everything. So yeah, it's a tough time for Mick. Tough time for a couple of people on this show, namely British Bulldog, who's just been rock bottomed into dog poop, but we'll get to that later. Our opening contest. Oh, you said you were glad Russo was gone, but this opening contest, geez. Godfather versus Midian, a rematch from SmackDown, the rematch that I don't think anybody wanted. So Godfather's not happy. But Godfather's still dancing around, even though he's not happy about being beaten up. And now we've got a match between these two, and Midian, he prefers pigs to hoes, and so kicks his ass because he doesn't have any farm animals. That's what Godfather said at the time. Kicks his ass, and it's pretty much squash. So there you go. Godfather rolls up Midian. Really can't tell you what happened in this match. What did you think of this opener? A weird choice.
It's a weird choice to open your show. You think they're sending out the big guns.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the... but I suppose this is around the era where they weren't doing, like, your big match to start off. You were doing, like, your lower card stuff. So I get that, but at the same time... Yeah, but at least it's only up from here, you know.
Mm-hmm. Except for Val Venis is on this show. Fuck Val Venis.
Oh yeah, this is the short-lived Val Venis push as well, so probably not a good time for Piggy anyway. Up next, we've got a clip of Triple H beating up Austin on SmackDown with the latex, I believe it was, and bragging about it to Michael Cole here on Heat. And next up, we've got another fantastic matchup. It's the Fabulous Moolah versus Ivory. I mean, we could go all day, talk all day about the Fabulous Moolah and how terrible she is, but we'll just...
Look at this. Dave Meltzer, look, you gave Omega and Okada 5 stars. You clearly gave the wrong people... No, you gave them 6 stars. You talk about your 6-star classics. Fabulous Moolah versus Ivory. 6-star classic, lads. 6 stars. Not even 6 stars, maybe even 7 stars. That's how great it is. Like the Fabulous Moolah pulled out a feed trigger and a one-winged angel before Kenny Omega. She then hit a jumping tombstone pile driver, and then hit a rainmaker and said, "No, over yet, bitch." And then came out of nowhere and did a spiral tap. Like Jesus.
It was insane. It was very impressive, and like instant classic. We don't even need to talk about this match too much more, other than the fact that the Fabulous Moolah beats Ivory with ease, and just destroys her. And so Fabulous Moolah, the new women's champion at 90 years old, or however old she is now. But yeah, awesome matchup.
Hey, I'm gonna Google what age Fabulous Moolah is, and then work back.
She would have been. Oh God, she would have been like 75, something like that.
Well, she died in November. She was born in 1923. So, work from there.
76.
Yeah, you would be right. Well, no, she would have been 75 at the time.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry for suggesting that she was older than she was. No, she was a young, sprightly 75 when she won the Women's Championship against Ivory here. Interesting. So, in all seriousness, what do you think of this match?
Again, 7 stars, lads.
Alright, yeah, okay, sure. It's Fabulous Moolah versus Ivory. What do you expect it to be? I'm not going to rag on it anymore. I was really looking forward to this pay-per-view, and this opening 2 matches, it made me a bit iffy. Oh yeah, you're happy that Russo's gone, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand
fantastic.
Fabulous Moolah's on this show, but we're slowly dying her out,
Okay, fair enough. So earlier on in Heat, Vince McMahon also told Triple H that the main event's going to be No Holds Barred, which should be very interesting to see. And I'll get to it actually later, because there was something I was going to point out, but we'll point out the fact that this matchup next up was supposed to be for the WWF Tag Team Championships, but because the Rock and Sock Connection beat the New Age Outlaws on SmackDown for the titles, this match is now just a regular non-title match, which takes the sting out of it a lot, because it was actually the Hollies who cost the New Age Outlaws the tag team titles, which seems extremely counterproductive, because if you're going to face them here tonight, then why would you want the titles on the line? I don't know. But anyway, it's not Mr. Ass. Careful, it's Billy Gunn in the New Age Outlaws. So same as every Outlaws match, Road Dogg's being beaten up, Billy Gunn makes the hot tag, and it was one of them kind of matches that could have been on Raw or SmackDown, but it was fine. I do like the dynamic between Crash Holly and Hardcore Holly, because the Crash Holly at this time is new. He's one of the many new faces that they're going to bring in towards the end of 99 and early 2000s, so that kind of new era of Attitude Era wrestler who, made a really big name for himself. Eventually there is a disqualification when Hardcore Holly throws a chair in the ring, but Billy Gunn hits Crash Holly with the Fameasser, and the Hollies win by DQ. So it was fine for what it was, compared to the first 2 matches, but I don't know, I'm wondering what you thought of this.
As a person who's never really seen much of Crash Holly, it made me love Crash Holly. Yeah.
He's a very entertaining guy, his mannerisms in terms of character work is very good, very, very that Scrappy-Doo type character,
Yeah.
So, would you be, after watching this, would you maybe want to watch more Crash Holly stuff?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that whole 24/7 hardcore run would be an interesting one to go down, look at. And, he was very, very briefly an MFer under Matt Hardy as well, so interesting to note. So, next up, it's your main event, because I know you love Jeff Jarrett, and in all seriousness, you do. Oh, I do too. It's a good housekeeping match for the Intercontinental Championship. Champion Jeff Jarrett defends against China. So, I don't know.
Is this the infamous match where Jarrett holds Vince McMahon up for ransom?
Oh, you got it. Yeah. Before we get into the match, let's talk about that situation. Jeff Jarrett's contract expired the day before the pay-per-view. The rumour, or kind of story goes, Jarrett said he would drop the title on his way out, but only if Vince paid him all of that pay-per-view money, which was like $500,000, I believe. Something like that. So pay it up front, instead of ages away. And then McMahon kind of gave into it, and they had a feud for 20 years. If anything, this match spawned the birth of TNA.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this match, we wouldn't have AJ
TNA.
Styles. There, I said it.
What'd you say, sorry?
If it weren't for this good housekeeping match, we wouldn't have had AJ Styles be the big name he was.
This match created TNA.
This match cemented the legacy of the likes of, well, Sting was already a legend, but Sting, AJ, Joe, all these guys. And if it wasn't for this match, indie wrestling wouldn't have had the boom it did. There, I said it.
I don't know whether you're being sarcastic or honest.
I mean, it's true. It's true. In a weird butterfly effect sort of way. So, you know, props to Jeff Jarrett for seeing this future. So, yeah, that's the story here. And the night after this pay-per-view, he shows up on Nitro and decks Buff Bagwell with a guitar. So, very, very peak Monday Night War stuff there. So, it's basically Falls Count Anywhere hardcore stuff, you know, but with household objects. So, but which will be a factor, trust me. So, we got a couple of cool spots. They're beating each other with brooms and trash cans and stuff. More fun stuff, you know, they're having a food fight. Whacked in the face with a salami, and then a fish to the face. Not really a household object though, but you know, still interesting. Jarrett grabs the Intercontinental title and hits China with it, and then Jarrett makes the 3 and wins the Intercontinental Championship, retains it. But it wasn't, because why? Why wasn't it allowed?
Because it wasn't a household object.
Yeah, but why? You know, you could argue it was. If it's a
What was it again?
The Intercontinental title, they say it's not a household object, but, you know, they had fish. Is that a household object, so to speak?
Yeah, I guess it would be. Technically food, but...
Yeah, and I mean, a belt can be used for many things. It can be used as a decorative item, it can be used for, you know, hanging up on your wall. So, I think Jarrett got screwed over here. I don't blame him for leaving. Even so, they're told to get back in the arena, and there's... Lawler goes, of course, it's a household object. I've seen it in Jarrett's house. Very interesting. That he's on my side as well on this one. So Double J, he's furious. He knocks down Teddy Long, goes for the figure 4, but then China smacks him over the head with a guitar. But that's not a household object either. If you're using that. But then, yeah, China pins him and wins the Intercontinental Championship. Woo! But yeah, interesting. So... That's,
I do wonder.
Yeah.
I do wonder what Jarrett's plans in WWF would have entailed had he stayed around.
I don't think there's any way that he was going to reach past the main event because he had that feud with Austin. But then again, maybe with Austin gone, he could have had a better chance, maybe facing The Rock or someone like that, or maybe going to a feud with Mankind. But I don't see him becoming WWF champion. It just doesn't feel like that was in the cards for him. I think he made the right choice leaving because going to WCW, for most people it would have been a bad move, but I think for Jarrett it worked because of the environment it was, you know. I think he did well for himself.
I do wonder what happens if he did held things up for ransom and he goes, alright, I'll drop the belt normally, and then post WWF buying WCW, where he would have went.
Yeah. No, I think he would have had a mid career after that, like, because, you know, he is talented. Don't get me wrong, but if he wasn't in charge of TNA, there's no way he would have been the world champion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he would have because he was in WCW and he was champion there for like 5 times in 1 year. So, you know, who knows? In terms of this match, though, what did you think of it? I thought it was like a fun little brawl. It wasn't too, you know, it wasn't like a classic or anything, but it was entertaining for what it was. What did you think?
I love this because of what spawns after it. Not in WCW, of course, but this is where I believe, and people will correct me because I'm probably wrong, I think this is where it spawns Jericho and Chyna's feud. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it starts that and also leads into their co-Intercontinental Champion run, which is short-lived.
Yeah.
So that's quite... But that's also where I think Jericho really starts to find his feet in the WWF and where he starts to get over. Funny enough, at the expense of Chyna, who really this is kind of a peak for her, I would argue.
Nothing I can add to that. I agree.
Yeah, fair enough. We've got up next the British Bulldog versus The Rock. On paper, this looks fantastic. However, he was rock bottomed into dog poop. The dog poop. Rock bottom in the dog poop. Was that before or after this, though?
Before.
Yeah, I thought it would have been. I can't remember if they mentioned it or not. To be honest, I was just looking at his jeans. I liked his jeans. So, after Davey Boy Smith cost The Rock the WWF title at Rebellion, they don't usually bring up these UK pay-per-views, but they did this time because Davey Boy threw a trash can and it gave Stephanie McMahon amnesia. So, yeah, that's a fun little story there. So, we've also got this match here tonight, and this is where they're trying to push some, not like mid-card, because, British Bulldog, he's been in the main event before, but kind of pushing mid-card talent. So you got the British Bulldog here against The Rock, and later on you got Val Venis against Mankind. Just trying to try out new names, I suppose. Maybe they realised that the likes of Mankind and Austin are going soon, and obviously they were without The Undertaker at the time, so maybe trying to use more established names to get over some of these other guys. It didn't really work for the most part here, though, not until they bring in the Radicals and more talent from WCW later on. So they've got Davey Boy Smith versus The Rock. It was fine. Like, it felt like a Raw match more than a pay-per-view match, because on paper you think that these two could go all out, really, but yeah, it just didn't feel like Bulldog was on The Rock's level at any point, whether it be crowd reaction or kind of offense, really. It was short. Great One kind of dominated him, really. Like, The Rock hits him with the rock bottom, people's elbow, and The Rock wins. Short match, nothing really to say here, nothing special. What did you think?
Nothing special. It was a fun match to calm down the people after the housekeeping match. They get to be excited for the ladder match.
It's very weird to see The Rock in this kind of placeholder feud in the middle of two big matches, isn't it?
Yeah.
An interesting choice. Like, they won the tag titles on SmackDown before, but yeah, it just felt like they weren't really doing a lot with The Rock around this time. Arguably, since his face turn, like, what has he done? He faced Mr. Ass at SummerSlam, and that was nothing really. He had a bit part in the main event at Unforgiven, and then here with Mankind, he's got a couple of things going on with Mankind and Al Snow, but nothing really until the Royal Rumble, where he kind of picks up again. But I suppose The Rock is so popular that it doesn't really matter. I don't know. What do you think about his placement on the card here?
I like the placement on the card. I understand people are going to go, but The Rock should be in the main event. In 1999, there's just too many people getting over. So you kind of do have to shuffle around the cards. Like, 1 minute The Rock would have to be in the main event, and the next minute he'll have to be facing, I don't know, bloody Crash Holly.
Woo!
Like,
I'd be up for that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you, though. Yeah, that makes sense. It's good to call him off as well, because then people won't get sick of him, hopefully. So, and they didn't. They liked him for a while, anyway. Next up, oh boy. This is why we watched this show. For Christian Cage, obviously, the Christian Cage arc, the first ever tag team ladder match. Edge and Christian versus the New Brood. That's Matt and Jeff Hardy with Gangrel. Very, they don't talk about how Gangrel will probably be pushed to the side if the Hardys win this one for Terry, that's not really brought up, but yeah, Terry Runnels is at the centerpiece of this feud, so that's kind of, I think that's a relic of Vince Russo needing something to be on the line here rather than just having money or whatever. So the winners get Terry as their manager, so that's completely irrelevant here.
Jerry Lawler doing his best impression of thinking Terry Runnels is a 13-year-old and looking up his skirt.
Oh! We cut. Do I cut that? No, it's true. He's a perv, and he should be in jail. Nice. I watched Man on the Moon as well the other day. Not Man on the Moon. I watched the Jim Carrey documentary where he's playing Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler. I don't know if it's he's pissed off with him or what, but he takes himself far too seriously.
What do you mean?
Well, I know there was some issues with Jim Carrey, and because it was like a Man on the Moon set. The Man on the Moon, it was based on Andy Kaufman and his career, and Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman, and he did like method acting, so he assumed the role of Andy Kaufman like throughout everything, which I can understand getting on some people's nerves as well. But Jerry Lawler took it way too seriously and tried to punch out Jim Carrey for what he saw. I don't know what he was thinking in that, but yeah, he didn't come across very well. It's like a behind the scenes documentary anyway, and it was around this time. That's why I brought it up. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted a chance to rag on Lawler. I don't like him.
A lot of people don't like Lawler, actually.
No, and it's not even for the pesty stuff. But that's besides the point. Let's start talking about him. This is about the Hardy Boyz. It's about Edge and Christian. First ever tag team ladder match. Gangrel's gone, so that's just the four of them. Matt, Jeff, Edge, Christian. So, I don't know if you've seen SummerSlam 99 where they had a mini kind of match in the gauntlet, but they made the crowd really pumped up, and I think that's what really spawned this feud. So it's a best of 5. This is the last one. The winner gets wins the Terry Invitational Tournament, which, if you don't know, spells out tit. There's a lot of spots early on where they really up the ante of what a ladder match could be. Because before this, you had Shawn and Razor and Triple H and The Rock, and they are, not traditionally high flyers, apart from like Shawn Michaels, but in this one, they're young, they're looking to make an impression, and they really go all out here. So there's a lot of... I can't even... What's your favourite spots in this match? Because there's so many that I can kind of list off. It's like the foundations of what TLC would become.
I loved when Jeff Hardy jacked off Christian off the ladder.
I saw that you posted that on your story. I was like, oh my god, yeah. I forgot about that.
That's a direct quote. No, Jim Ross says Jeff Hardy jacked Christian off the apron, which Jerry Lawler goes, no, he jacked him off the ladder. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why would you put jack off in the same sentence? You make it sound weird.
That's the weird thing, other than the tit tournament that this is. So yeah, he jerks him off, and there's a lot of fun stuff with ladders. They're really going whole hog with these ladder shots here. And the main thing is the bump, the famous bump that Jeff Hardy takes when he finally grabs the what is it, little burlap sack, and he falls off the ladder, and it'll be used in every WWE game moving forward for animation. Like, I can't really describe this one. It's just one you've got to kind of watch yourself. Would you agree? Yeah,
it is a great ladder match. It is. Maybe at some point as bonus videos, we might do TLC 1, 2, and 3. But that's up to Faarooq, really, not me.
Oh yeah, I'd absolutely be down for doing that. But I wanted to do this one though, because this one was the foundation of that whole series. They'd up the ante with the tables match at the Royal Rumble with the Dudleys, and then of course the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 2000. So we could even do that one. I don't know, but the kind of foundation of what TLC matches would be, and the kind of, I would, it's obviously cliche to say groundbreaking, but it really was, wasn't it?
It was. I'm a big fan of the Hardy Boyz and Edge and Christian, but I think the difference is Jeff. I don't want to get personal, but Jeff has kind of always soured the Hardy Boyz. Like, because like 1 minute he'd be on top, and then the next minute you're like, oh Jeff, what did you do this time? Oh my God, Jeff, why did you do that, Jeff? Why? And then you're like, oh, all right. Whereas Edge and Christian, they've always just been great.
Yeah, they haven't had the same personal problems. I mean, even with Jeff Hardy's kind of issues and Matt's issues, I still think that the moments that they've created will still, well, touch wood, not be overshadowed. They've definitely gotten there at some points, but hopefully by the time this comes out, nothing else stupid will have happened with him. And
nothing. Have you ever seen? Now, I can legally say this because he was high off his tip. Have you ever seen Jeff Hardy, but he's in the diner? He's cutting a promo on CM Punk.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that one where he's like, CM Punk, I made you a motherfucking superstar.
Damn. Come on, Jeff. I know it was like 10 years ago, but
It's the
still.
best Jeff Hardy promo he's ever caught. I don't care.
You're counting it in the lore of promos now. Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Look, if people haven't seen it, if you don't want to watch the ladder match, at least watch the Jeff Hardy high off his tip cutting a promo on CM Punk.
That's not a good compromise. That's not a good compromise. No, don't watch that. Watch the ladder match. It'll make you sad. It made me sad.
Watch both. Watch both because they're both are brilliant. And also for people who don't know, in the video itself, I can talk about it because this will be the only time probably I can mention it. In the video itself, when Jeff's cutting the promo, Matt, you can see Matt, and he's just scoffing down chips, or as they call it, fries. He's just scoffing down the fries. And he's like, I don't know, CM Punk's in a relationship with Amy Dunez. And you're like, Matt, it's been 5 years. Get over it, man. And he's just scoffing down chips.
I think he still works for the WWE at that point as well.
I think he's about to leave, or he has left.
Yeah, maybe probably bitter. Anyway, don't let that overshadow this. This was a fantastic match. Go out your way to watch it. I don't want that. We talk more about the spots in that promo than we did the spots in this match. All we have to say is like go and watch it because it's a spot fest, but a good spot fest. That's what I'll say. And then
Jeff Hardy, I made you a motherfucking superstar.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy has blocked us. What's the betting?
I know. Well, yeah, not important enough to be blocked by him. He's my favourite wrestler. Layoff. Anyway, we've got the clip from Heat of Mankind backstage, looking to give The Rock his book.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love it. Even though I hate Val Venis, I love this. Where he's like, Rock, I can smell what you're cooking. Oh Jesus, it's horrible.
That was good. Gets beaten up by Val Venis. And then the great one, The Rock himself comes out to challenge the winner of tonight's main event. So I understand now why they did that earlier in the show, because they wanted this little promo piece for The Rock to put him into that main event slot as well. And then coming back, Triple H, boom, sledgehammer, and they carry The Rock backstage. I think it's quite interesting to see them already planting seeds for a future match.
Yeah. It's so weird seeing main event Triple H against like The Rock in 2000. Even though we are going to cover the year 2000 in the year 2024, that is we have to finish 2008, but we are covering 2000 in the year 2024. But it's so cool seeing them plant the seeds, because The Rock and Triple H have only fought, I think, a few times before this, in late 98 or early 99. But it's so weird seeing main event Triple H versus main event Rock.
Yeah, like now especially. Because you'd associate them with their mid-card runs, wouldn't you? Like, in the terms of their feud, yeah. So that's something to look forward to, and it's cool that they're already building towards something at WrestleMania. I mean, it really should have been The Rock versus Triple H in the main event at WrestleMania 2000. But, you can't get everything right, but that was something they should have done. Anyway, next up, Val Venis takes on Mankind. Ooh. So, Mankind... Has Mankind fallen, or is Val Venis punching above his weight? What's the verdict here?
Both.
Yeah, that's true. So they're trying to get Val Venis over as a main event, not main event, but upper mid carder here, and it's not working because he's still doing the porn star stuff, but he's not quite the later in, I think the year after, when he's ditched the porn star gear and he's just in the white and the short hair with Trish Stratus. I don't like that Val Venis, and I don't like this Val Venis. I don't not like any Val Venis, but I prefer it when he's over the top, if anything. But here he's a heel, and he's
Can we?
Yeah.
Sorry. sorry to interrupt you. I don't know if it's in the year 2001. I don't know if Right to Censor still exists by No Mercy 2001. But I just quickly want to mention, what Right to Censor members would you have liked to see in?
What, in terms of who I would rather be in Right to Censor?
Yeah, who would you love to see in Right to Censor?
Ooh, are we going all time fancy?
Yeah, fantasy.
I would have liked to have seen. Oh, this is a good one. I reckon. I don't know. Honestly, I think they had a good little set of people there. To be honest, maybe Raven. If I'm going like really
Gangrel.
far out.
Imagine Gangrel in it.
Or Gangrel, yeah.
Watch up, people. Fanging and banging. And Gangrel, you're supposed to be PG. Fanging and banging. Yeah. I want to suck your blood.
Reading and writing instead of fanging and banging. X-Pac. Billy Gunn.
Oh, Billy Gunn. Imagine this draft. Oh, my man. Din, din. Yeah,
I'm a man.
Din, din. I like to hug him. I like to watch him. No, I can't say.
That's going a different. Yeah, going a different way. Moving on. The Val Venis.
I like to drink tea. I like to watch the sun rise. I like to hoover my carpet.
Wholesome Billy Gunn is my new favourite character of yours. I appreciate it. Makes me feel homely. So yeah. Oh damn. Yeah,
I'm just trying to imagine Billy Gunn as Ned Flanders. Like, he's full Christian, it's Christian, not Catholic. He's full Christian. He's like, hi diddly ho, Neverino. I believe in our Lord and Saviour. And like Road Dogg's like, yeah, down where? Down here. And he's like, no, my brother, that is wrong, my brother. And
up
he's
here.
Like, up here is where the Lord is. Down there is where the devil is. Have you got a moment of time to talk about the Lord and Saviour? And Road Dogg's like, Billy, what happened? God happened. Dan.
I got 2 words for you. Amen. That's one word.
No, it's Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Or it's God bless you. Oh no, that'd be 3 words.
God bless. There you go. Right to send Christian, evangelical Christian degeneration X is what I want to see.
Imagine X-Pac.
Make some noise for the Lord.
For our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. What? I think Road Dogg's like, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Generation X proudly brings to you our ceremony of the evening with the tag team champions of the world, Mary and Joseph, and Jesus Christ.
I mean, Gangrel's already got the goblet, like the thing for the communion. So I suppose he's halfway there. Val Venis is still doing the penis shtick here, which is interesting. Interesting contradiction, trying to be up with the likes of Mankind. So Mankind, he's sore. He's very sore. You can see that. So they try hard, I would say. Not the biggest Val Venis fan, obviously, but they try. It's fine, but I do like the Val Venis pulling out a sock and grabbing Mick by the nuts and then making him pass out. I like that finish, but I don't like the match, really. What did you think?
I don't like the match, no.
No.
Like, Mick Foley should not be in this. I don't care. I like comedy Mick. I love Mick Foley, because Mick Foley is one of the few wrestlers that actually can do comedy.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like, not many wrestlers can do comedy. Like, Edge Christian can do comedy, especially when they're doing the kazoos, and they're like, Chris Benoit's here, and he's really angry. Who else can do great comedy? The Rock can do great comedy. Austin does great comedy, and Triple H are the ones that come to mind, and Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And Eddie.
Basically, anyone with anyone who went to the main event level can pull off. Comedic timing is a very key part of being a main eventer that I think is underrated.
I'm trying to think what is your favourite Mick Foley segment that he's ever done?
It has to be
Like,
the
in
one
the
where
WWF.
it has to be the one where he shuts up The Rock and he goes, "It doesn't matter what you think," and he runs around the ring and high fives all the crowd.
Mine is it's just the one where he's in the bathroom with Edge and Christian, and Christian is using yogurt to throw up.
Yeah, and they got the cameras like shot down. I like that bit.
And it's another one. I'm trying to think of another one that I love. Oh, I love the one though with Val Venis in the bathroom. Like that was my.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to post that one on my story. Where it's just like, I smell what you're cooking, Rock, and then he walks on. The Rock's on his little Nokia phone, and the Rock's like, "I haven't got time for you," and the people's chatting. He doesn't say that directly, but he says something along those lines.
Oh
And
no!
it's
When the Rock's coming into the arena and Mick Foley, he makes Mick Foley ride in the trunk of the car because he doesn't want him in the same car. He makes him ride in the trunk, and he goes, "Oh, that was a little sore, Rock. I don't know if I like being in the back of the car." And he goes, "Shut up." And I like their report. This whole time period for Mick Foley is great, except for this match.
Mick Foley is just under. Mick Foley could do everything. It's a shame, like, his body was absolutely wrecked in 1999. But, like, I don't want to compare him to Jeff, but, like, it's so weird how two different people took wrecking their body. Like, you look at Jeff Hardy and how he went down, and then you look at Mick Foley. Mick Foley went, "Jesus, lads, I'm in some pain, but have you got a moment to speak about our Lord and Saviour, Santa Claus?"
Yes.
Like, Mick Foley went down the very Christmassy route, and then Jeff Hardy went down the very dark route. Like, it's just so weird seeing these two lads, how they dealt with their body being in so much pain.
I think it's a testament really to Mick Foley that he is as well adjusted as he is, to be honest.
I'm surprised he can still walk to this day. Like,
Let
I
alone walk,
understand
like, not just be like a complete dickhead, you know? Like, you'd be frustrated the whole time. Like, I'm surprised how he manages to, well, at least in public, keep his demons, if he's got any, you know. He seems to be quite a fairly clean-cut guy for someone who's put his body through so much.
Foley's just a lovely gentleman.
Yeah, so credit to him and not Val Venis.
Yeah, and then you look at Val Venis, who didn't take as much bumps as Mick Foley, and he's some wacko doing weed, and he's like, has all these crazy conspiracies, like he's trying to be Jesse the Body Ventura, and he's complaining about trans people, and he has this like little chalkboard, like, "Oh, what can I do this week? What can I do this week? Make fun of trans people. What can I do next week? Make fun of gay people. Oh, maybe I'll make fun of the black people. Maybe I'll do that as well." And then you're like, "Jesus Christ, Val, will you shut the fuck up?" And he's like, no lad, I've got an idea. And I don't care, Val, shut up.
That sounds like our conversations before the podcast, eh?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, that's a joke.
Shut up, Piggy, I don't care. And I'm like, but I just want to talk to you.
Who are we going to make fun of this week? Anyway, we'll move on. Four Corners Elimination Match. An interesting concept for a match. It's Faarooq versus Bradshaw versus X-Pac versus Kane. No, it's not a tag team match. It's a fatal four-way elimination match. An interesting dynamic here where...
Can I talk about the graphic? Have you seen the graphic for this?
Yeah.
It's a fairly squashed graphic. Have you seen it?
What, where they're all like on one side of the...
Yeah. They're all on one side.
It's so weird to see. Why aren't they spread... I suppose they need to get the No Mercy logo. But even then... Yeah, they've got like the No Mercy logo on the side, I think, haven't they? And it's just like the four of them squashed in the corner. It's just weird. Weird placing. Graphic design is my passion.
Yeah.
So...
I wonder whoever did that got fired.
Yeah, I hope anyone who did that got fired. Literally, I hope they lost their job for this. I'm joking, it's probably fine. An interesting choice. But, that said, it's because X-Pac and Kane... You know, X-Pac taught Kane to say "suck it," which will help him later on, I'm sure. And they got their little dynamic between them. Suck it!
Yeah, he got a voice box and went, and then he went, "You don't need this anymore," and he threw him a microphone, didn't he?
Yeah, so a very legendary moment in the Attitude Era. So X-Pac basically feels like Kane is babysitting him too much. I like their dynamic. It makes Kane appear more human, although, you could argue this is the start of the downfall of Kane, maybe. But
No.
it also is...
Corporate Kane.
Oh, yeah, but he'd already been ruined by that point,
Yeah, but I think Kane at his peak is 04, where he's electrocuting Shane's testicles and he's, beating up Linda McMahon and tombstoning Eric Bischoff. That's peak of Kane. I understand people are going to go 1997 Kane. No, I don't care. I like Kane when he comes out with a card battery. That's my Kane.
Yeah, fair enough. Testicle electrocution is your jam, more than mine.
Yeah.
And Bradshaw. So, Bradshaw's going to try and take liberties. Of course he is. And eventually Bradshaw and Faarooq, the little segments they've got are interesting. There's times where, X-Pac and Kane are fighting as well. And I like X-Pac. This is shortly before X-Pac heat where he turns heel and people start hating on him. And, they've been around for a while. But surprisingly, there was a bit of a rough-looking X-Factor at one point. Wait, who gets... so it's Bradshaw eliminated first, isn't it? And then X-Pac jumps up...
Kane, and then Faarooq.
Yeah, X-Pac then jumps off and eliminates Kane. And then fights with Faarooq, which is an interesting little sequence here. The X-Factor looks a bit rough, but X-Pac gets the win. So, it was one of them matches that were okay. But, compared to a lot of the stuff on this show, I liked it a fair bit. I like the dynamic between the guys. And some people might think that it should have been a tag match, but I personally dug the Four Corners Elimination Match thing, because you still had, the tag element there, but you also had these wrestlers individually wanting to prove themselves, and I thought it was quite interesting. So, I don't know. What did you think?
I agree with you.
Yeah. Are you a fan of this stip?
Except for the graphic, yes, I was very excited for this match.
Oh yeah, the graphic sucks, but that's besides the point. I like how you also took note of it, because I was watching it and I was very confused. I was like, they can spread them out, but it's what it is. In the back,
I was like, Fergs going to notice this, and he's going to be like, graphic design is my passion.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I knew it.
We're in the back, and The Rock is still being treated. So, put a bandage around him, he'll be fine. Put a Z-Pack on that, and he'll be fine, I'm sure. Then, before our main event, we get a look at the rivalry between Austin and Triple H. And then we've got the main event. Finally. Yes?
Can we talk about this Triple H? Because, to me, what is your favourite era of Triple H? I understand people have their tags.
It's this one. No,
yeah.
No, it is definitely this one.
My time.
Yeah, my time before Stephanie. Where he's still kind of riding with China, but not entirely. But he's new enough to the main event scene where he's bitter about not being there, and he's the champion. He's crafty, but he's also he can be ruthless, and it's that perfect combination of okay, if he's the kind of champion that will try and weasel his way out of situations, but if his back's against the wall, then he'll beat you up. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And
also, I love his leather flat cap.
Oh, I wonder where you can get one of them flat caps.
I know.
I would wear one of them.
I know. I think that is what makes this Triple H, to be honest. It's the leather that I like.
Oh, I loved... Wait, no, is this where he ruins two jackets, or is this before
that's
he ruins two
that's
jackets?
2002, 2001, yeah, where he ruins two perfectly good jackets with the denim and the leather. That's overboard. That's overkill. They made a figure of that, didn't they?
They made a defining moments figure.
Yeah, I've always wanted that one, but yeah, that's where he bulks up on the denim. Now this is I want to say minimalist Triple H with just the flat cap and the leather jacket and the necklace as well, and the title belt looks great on him. Yeah, my favourite Triple H.
I love the Ultimate Edition figure they released of this.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, that's a good one. Did they re-release?
I didn't get the re-release. I got the I got the first edition for like €30, like just 2 months ago.
Oh, good price, yeah.
I don't know, man. Well, it didn't come with his alternate heads, but it did come with a sledgehammer, his flat cap, and his denim, his chainmail.
Yeah, that's what you need.
And I also got another Triple H as well with it for together it cost about $60 in total, so 30 for each. And that was like a 04 non-ride belly Triple H. So as
Yeah.
Has his man titties.
Yeah, I remember that era. That's probably my least favourite era of Triple H, actually. Fat Triple H. Roidy belly.
I love Fat H. I like he looks so jolly, doesn't he? He looks so jolly.
He looks puffy. Yeah, puffy Triple H. Not that I'm in any position to criticise another man's physique. I'm skinny fat for days, but still.
Yeah, I'm fat as well, and I appreciate Fat Triple H. It's such a shame Mattel won't make it Fat Triple H. Same with Hulk Hogan.
Is it 'cause they're too self-conscious, aren't they?
I want man titty Hogan.
Give us it, yeah. The people demand it, and the people. Yeah.
Okay. Question: do you think the Hulk Hogan torso should be the Iron Sheik torso?
Yeah. He's way too jacked. He was never that jacked.
I bet Hulk Hogan has in his contract, well, you know something, brother, I need to be jacked. Well, what if you don't make Jack Hogan? Well, you know something, brother, I will complain. I will go on Twitter and I will tweet about how I've no toilet roll, brother.
I love his white skin and his shredded abs. Like he wasn't a tanned, fat, oily wiener of a man. You know what I mean? And it's just weird.
Have you seen that Triple H, or not that Triple H, the Hulk Hogan deleted tweet?
No.
Have you not seen the one where he's in the bathroom and he's like, "Help me, brother, I ran out of toilet roll"?
Who was he meant to? Was he meant to tweet that?
No, he wasn't. I know we're not supposed to talk about Hogan, but that is an absolutely great tweet. Help me, brother, I'm stuck in the bathroom.
Funny enough, I believe at this time, well, actually, no, I think Sting is at this time. He's the champion. But Hulk Hogan, just a month prior, was the world champion in WCW. So they're on top at the same time. It's a very interesting dynamic there. I've been saying the word interesting a lot throughout this show, I've noticed as well. You might have to put a counter on that. But it's an interesting main event. I said it again. Anything goes for the WWF Championship. Triple H defends against Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is a match that when I was a kid, I had this on this pay-per-view on DVD, and it would be the ladder match that I'd watch over and over again, and this match I'd watch over and over again. And I remember loving this match as a kid, and I loved it again. It was an Attitude Era brawl. There were obviously no holds barred, so they brawled all throughout the arena. And I will always remember this match as being the one where the arena had like the wooden panelled flooring, like you'd see on like a gymnasium floor. And when he took a bump on that, I was like, oh. I remember doing a high jump in secondary school, landing. I went over the bar, but instead of landing on the mat, there were two mats, and instead of landing on either of them, I smacked my back on that surface, and I've still got the scar today, so that's why I remember that match for this, because I was like, oh, that's a bit sore for Austin. So, obviously, it's Austin's main event brawl, where he's battering Triple H all over the place. They love the announce tables too, and Vince McMahon comes out, and because Triple H tries to use his sledgehammer, and he didn't want it to happen, so Triple H decked Vince. This is a weird era as well for Vince, where he's face. What do you think of face Vince McMahon?
It's so weird because, like, at the start of the year, Vince was like, "I hate you, Austin. I hope you die." And now he's like, "Austin, I love you so much."
You're actually quite alright, Austin. You're alright. But
I love how McMahon, at the start of the year, McMahon's like, "I hope you die. I hope your wife dies. I hope your kids die. I hope you don't reproduce, Austin. I hope everyone in your family gets cancer and dies." And then, late 99, he's like, "Austin, look, mate, I was a dick. I love you."
It's like the Paul Rudd meme where they're opening the beer and they go, "Look at us, huh? Look at us." It's him and Austin, just like chummy as if nothing ever happened. It's very strange. Later on in the match as well, The Rock comes out again with a sledgehammer. But hang on a minute. What happened at the end here? I'm forgetting.
I'm forgetting as well.
It was confusing. The Rock comes out, but then Triple H beats him up with. Is it the sledgehammer? I can't remember. Honestly, I'll be honest, I kind of tuned out towards the end of this match. The middle part was really interesting, but the ending was a bit. I don't know. I think the ending felt a bit flat. That's all I remember. Because Triple H obviously decks Austin, pins him, and then Triple H retains the championship. And Triple H just goes away. It feels like a bit of a flat ending to the pay-per-view. However, I still really enjoyed this match. What did you think?
I enjoyed this match.
Yeah, like the brawling stuff, is that your kind of jam? Do you like that?
It depends. Like, I don't mind it, but it works for Austin. I will give that credit. Works perfectly for Austin. If I see The Rock doing it, if I see The Rock doing it, then no. But like Austin, yes.
It fits with his character more anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Moxley, John Moxley, I don't mind him doing it. But the difference is, literally, you hit John Moxley with a punch. Oh, you got a gig, brother.
You shake his hand and he starts bleeding.
Yeah, where Austin's like, alright, you have to hit me with a chair 5 times, do a square jump, and then do a double jump, and then do a backflip, and then I'll bleed for you, motherfucker. And then Moxley's like, literally, just shake my hand, brother. Oh, sorry, gotta bleed.
He must be addicted to the feeling of it, maybe. I don't know, he gets that rush from it. But Austin, again, like, when you bust open Austin, it means something, because you're like, oh, damn, his opponent must be a beast, you know?
Austin, who has the greatest blood cell ever? Who, how can I word this? Who gigged the best? Like, when they're doing...
It has to be Austin. It has to be Austin, doesn't it? Where he's screaming in pain in the sharpshooter.
To me, it goes Austin, it goes Austin, Mr. McMahon, or Mr. McMahon, and then Ric Flair, and then John Moxley underneath.
Would you give Eddie a honourable mention for the Judgment Day bloodbath, where he gets busted open with a chair?
I would. Eddie and Hogan are in the same category for me, and Cena.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. What, the drenching? Or maybe Hogan in the Lesnar bear hug and he's bleeding. He's literally having the blood squeezed out of him. That's a good one.
For people who don't know, if you ever want to watch a McMahon match, skip the No Mercy match where he fights Stephanie McMahon. But if you ever want to see him bleed, literally watch any Mr. McMahon match. He blades. Well, pre-2010, McMahon was a great bleeder.
Yeah, especially the infamous one where he's looking like the devil coming up from hell against Hogan at WrestleMania, where he's got the pipe and he's smiling covered in blood. That's iconic. I'm sure everyone's seen that by now. But yeah.
Oh, bald, mean, and full of beans. I've got a Yahaki drum machine.
Oh God, yeah. Watch who's the band?
The Northern Boys.
Northern Boys Vince McMahon video. Watch it from Botchamania. It's fantastic.
What was it? I've got a wife at home. She hates me. Sleep outside because she makes me. It's party time. Get your drugs out. Do you want to make love to a sad old man? It's party time. Get your drugs out. You want to make love to a sad old man? I said hip hop. A hippity hop. Dip my dick in the salsa sauce.
Southpaw.
Dip my dick in the salsa sauce.
Oh.
Can I strap on your booblies on a Taco Tuesday? Ball me and full of beans. I've got a Yamaha drum machine. And
it's set to him dancing at the rage party as well, where he's getting groovy with Shane. It's great. Watch it.
Do you know why he was dancing at the rage party?
Wasn't it Chocolate Salty Balls by Isaac Hayes is playing or something?
Apparently, I don't know if this is true. Apparently, Vince McMahon hated South Park. He hated South Park. And they didn't want to play music from their library, the WWE library. So they went, you know what would be a great rib on Vince? He played Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls.
That was peak 1999 as well. Only like months before this. Oh, damn.
You've got to watch the Rage Party. You've got to do a watch along of that.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised Vince McMahon wouldn't be a fan of South Park. It feels like it would be up his street, but I don't know.
Apparently he wasn't, but I might be wrong. He might secretly be a fan.
Yeah, could be. Anyway. So, that wraps it up for No Mercy. It was a show that I have fond memories of from being a kid watching it, and now, again, years later, it still holds up, I think. It wasn't like the best show ever or anything, but, you know, I think the 3 matches on this one that really stood out were the tag ladder match, the Good Housekeeping match, and the main event as well. There were some downers, you know, the stuff with, like, Foley and Foley and Venus and Bulldog and The Rock, and, you know, some other matches as well that didn't really need to be there, but it was interesting. I think it was the start of a company's run where they were going to kind of go forward and move into 2000, which was one of their best years, and this was kind of like the foundation of that. So, you obviously just watch the ladder match, really, if you're going to watch anything from the show, but, you know, it was still a very, very fun watch. What did you think?
I loved it. See, the thing I would give props to late 1999, they're building a foundation. Like, 2000 is the peak for the Attitude Era. And people will go, no, 98 is 2000, because you have absolutely everyone. Like, everyone is being used. Yes, some of it doesn't age well, particularly but like you have Angle, Jericho, Benoit, so you know, and late 99 is great for me because you have Dick Triple H, where he's basically like, I hate everyone. I hope you all die. I don't want to sign your autographs. You're a dick. You're a dick. No, you're nice. You're a dick. You're a see you next Tuesday. I hate you. I'm going to spit on you. And that's why I love 99 Triple H. Because literally, I bet, now this is going to sound so dark, I bet if a kid asked, a Make-A-Wish kid asked, could you beat me up and film it? I bet Triple H would have done what Sting did.
Yeah, I was going to say the Sting commercial, yeah. Where he beats up the kid. It looks so real.
Triple H is like, I'm going to show you how to take a bump, brother. Take a flat bump.
Good snap.
Good snap.
Yeah.
That's another watch along. You need to watch Triple H doing it.
Oh, tough enough. One of your nuts is hanging out your shorts.
Apparently, in the episode, one of the people has got a Goldberg poster up. And he's like, Goldberg doesn't work here.
Oh, yeah, he gets well salty about it and rips it off. It's like crazy. He's like, he took the shortcut. And, yeah. Oh, very peak Triple H being an asshole. But, yeah, we get more of that.
Nom, 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 nom. Your nuts are hanging out your shorts.
What's next on the agenda for us? It's No Mercy again. No Mercy 2001, isn't it?
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, no Triple H on that show. But there is Christian. You're well before.
I'm going to go through the results of Raw.
Oh yeah, go through the results of what happened on the Raw after this first.
Kane and X-Pac defeated the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley. Faarooq and Midian defeated the Godfather. Test defeated the British Bulldog. Val Venis defeated Al Snow. The New Age Outlaws, Mr. Ass and the Road Dogg defeated the Acolytes with Howard Finkel. Holly's with Crash Holly and Harger Holly defeated the Rock and Sock Connection to win the WWF Tag Team Championship. Now I wonder, is this the SmackDown with the infamous Bubba Ray segment, or did that happen on a Raw?
It doesn't matter. I think that was Raw.
Right, I'm going to go through SmackDown. Christian, Edge and Test defeated the British Bulldog and the Main Street Proxies. Joey, Pete Gas and Rodney in the 4-3 handicap match. Triple H defeated Al Snow to retain the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Mankind versus The Rock ended in a no contest. Fabulous Moolah defeated Mae Young by DQ to retain the Women's Championship. Holly's with Crash Holly and Harger Holly defeated the Hardy Boyz with Terry Runnels to retain the World Tag Team Championships. Boss Man with Phony Cop, don't know who he is, versus the Big Show ended in a no contest. Mark Henry and the Godfather defeated Midian and Fistera, and Stone Cold defeated Val Venis. Included was Mankind cutting an in-ring promo to begin the show, which he had mentioned of his book, Have a Nice Day, saying it was the greatest thing he ever did. Moments later, Mankind did a sit-down to get Vince McMahon's attention. After Vince came out, Mankind said he wanted a title shot, wanted to beat The Rock in order to earn it. The Rock came out and accepted that after the challenge. After Mankind left the ring, The Rock confronted Vince and said if he was wrestling tonight, Steve Austin should be wrestling as well. And Vince said no one had challenged him. No one challenged Austin. Val Venis came out and did so. Austin came out and accepted the challenge and sent Venis out of the ring as Vince and Rock left ringside. Feature footage of Mark Henry at his 5th sex therapist, in which his therapist was revealed to be the Godfather.
Oh no.
The Godfather telling Henry there was absolutely nothing wrong with him.
There you go. See, this is nothing wrong with you, mate. It's fine.
I bet that was the same therapist Jerry Lawler went to.
It's the same. Oh no, I won't make that. Jesus.
Oh, naked.
No, I was going to do a Jeff Hardy one. But touch wood, we don't know what's happened so far. Well, I know. Well, at the time around this is being recorded, he's been he's been suspended for driving for 10 years, which is, in my opinion, pretty light, pretty lenient.
Jeff Hardy. People, you have to go out and watch the Jeff Hardy promo on CM Punk. You just have to.
Okay, watch the ladder match. No, watch that first and then watch the ladder match. Because it's a nice palate cleanser after.
It is it's an iconic promo. Like, it's just the fact that Jeff Hardy is like, CM Punk, I made you a motherfucking superstar. You know, I go around and check all the young guys' hands.
You can't
check the Undertaker's hands.
You can't call it a promo. You wouldn't call like your local crackhead on the side of the road shouting at people in the park, shouting at kids in the park. You wouldn't call him cutting a promo, would you?
No.
It's a rant.
There's a difference. Jeff Hardy is initially cutting a promo. He literally is cutting a promo.
But he's not in a wrestling ring, is he? He's having a rant.
People cut promos in a diner. Austin and Michaels cut a promo in a bar. This counts.
No, fine. So what you're saying? Like, if an alcoholic was like ranting in your bar, you'd say he was cutting a promo.
No, I wouldn't say he was cutting a promo. But Jeff Hardy deliberately had the camera out, looked in the camera, high off his head.
I wasn't racially abusing that man. I was cutting a promo on him. That's what you're saying, because he wasn't in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, alright, fine.
Jeff Hardy does cut a promo. It is essentially a promo. Because he is mentioning CM Punk, how he made him a motherfucking superstar. And Matt Hardy scoffing down chips. It is absolutely...
Alright, we'll call it promo.
It's sad, but it's absolutely hilarious. I am so glad it's still up on YouTube.
So, you can watch that promo. We'll call it a day on Jeff Hardy Talk today. This is the Christian Cage arc, and we're talking more about Jeff Hardy. What did we do last week? We talked about what Christian's performance was last week, and it was good, wasn't it? So, Christian's performance this week, great again, wasn't it? Although he wasn't really the star man, was he?
No, he wasn't the star.
No, but next week he will be, because we are doing No Mercy 2001, where it's another ladder match, only this time he's facing his brother Edge for the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match, and I cannot wait to review that show. There are some really cool stuff on that show, including the ascension of Chris Jericho as a world champion and Rob Van Dam in the main event of a WWF pay-per-view. So, it's going to be fun. Are you looking forward to it?
And yes, and don't forget, you're getting an Australian icon for WrestleMania 24.
Oh yeah, of course we are, yeah, woo. I forget we're still promoting this amazing Australian icon. Who could it be? After a whole month of hyping, surely we can't let the fans down. No. This is the true Australian icon. No one else, I promise. So, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week. So, in honour of that Australian icon, can you, in the outro, I'll fade it out, but can you do Jeff Hardy's rant, but in an Australian accent, please?
Good day, mate. I made CM Punk a motherfucking superstar, mate. In your world, you can't do this, but in my world, you can.